Bairbre de Brún, Seán Crowe, Gerry, McCole, and McGuinness. Martin's going to read a statement, and then we will open up the press conference to questions. And we have here on the platform
today with Bairbre, with Francis, with Gerry, and indeed with the other Sinn Féin activists who have, I think, put a tremendous performance for Sinn Féin in the course of this election. A vote for Sinn Féin in this election is a radical alternative across the entire country. Sinn Féin is the only All-Ireland party contesting this election. Unlike any other party, we will have representatives in the Dáil, the 6th County Assembly, the Executive, and the All-Ireland Ministerial Council. In the 6 counties, Sinn Féin is the leading nationalist party. We have 4 Westminster MPs, 18 MLAs, 118 councillors, and 2 ministers in the Executive and the All-Ireland Ministerial Council. Here in this part of our country, we currently have 1 TD and 57 councillors. This is a formidable lineup. Across the island, Sinn Féin commands more electoral support than the Labour Party, the PDs and the Green Party, and the SDLP. And that support is set to right Tigers' prosperity in cities, towns and villages around the country. They are on the margins of society through no fault of their own. A society has to be judged not just by how well it treats those who can take advantage of good economic times, but how the rest of our people are treated. In this election, I have been at pains to point out to people that Sinn Féin stands for something new, for an alternative, for a fresh approach. We stand for change. We are a people-centred party, and we are motivated by a philosophy which places the needs of the people in front of every other consideration. I am confident that we have delivered the Republican message of change, of an alternative to the electorate, and I am really confident that they will respond in kind by electing Sinn Féin TDs.
Opinion poll, Radio Clery opinion poll placing Martin Ferris at the head of the poll. Just get your reaction to that. I mean, it's saying that he's on 28% as opposed to Spring on 23%.
Well, as you know, we have, all of us, abstained from commenting on opinion polls because the habit of most politicians is to embrace the ones they like and to rubbish the ones they don't like. I have to say that opinion poll reflects what we're getting on the ground. But let's take nothing for granted. North Kerry is a part of the kingdom. If they want Martin Ferris as a TD, then we will have to ensure that all of those who are willing to support us come out and vote on Friday.
Name calling is not going to affect people's view of particularly the electorate in regards to whether they're going to vote for Sinn Féin or not. It's clear that Sinn Féin are very much involved in communities and working class communities. We're very people-centred, as Martin has already outlined, and we're into involving and empowering communities. That's the type of politics we espouse. If you look under scrutiny of regards to comparison between ourselves and Le Pen, there is no comparison. And I think it's more to do with the growth of Sinn Féin, and particularly the growth of Sinn Féin in the capital city here, that we are actually taking votes from the Labour Party. And it's interesting that he outlined his views outside the city. And it's clear even in Kerry North, who's the party that's actually taken over the Labour Party, it's Sinn Féin. So it's more to do with the effect that Sinn Féin is actually having with the Labour electorate rather than anything in regards to the bigger picture of politics. It's complete nonsense and everyone knows it.
I'm sure John will be the pen is astounded.
If I could just add to that, the more I think about it, the more I think that those people who voted for Sinn Féin in West Tyrone, Fermanagh South Tyrone, Mid Ulster, West Belfast, and in every other constituency in the 6 counties, making us now the largest nationalist party in the north, will be very deeply offended by the remarks from the leader of the Labour Party. And I think that before he says the sort of things that he says, he should reflect on the history of the Northern State over the course of the last 70 odd years or 80 years since Ireland was partitioned, because many of those people were condemned.
From one end of the country to the other. We have always been inclusive, but that is part of our philosophy, from our economic philosophy to our political philosophy, our cultural philosophy. And many of the people in the 26 counties wanted to turn their back on the biggest challenge that faced the island, which was the imperialist presence. They ran away from that, and in doing that, they were able to run away from so many other issues that now are the substance of tribunals for the last few years. I think it's about facing political realities and not turning your back when they are extremely challenging. And I think it's the challenge of that that frightens people. That's why.
What we need to do is to ensure that those people who have showed an openness to the type of positions you've heard articulated here, that those people who have that openness, who do support our vision and our policies, they come out on Friday and vote. And no one knows, you see. No one knows what's going to happen on Friday. No pundit, no opinion pollster, no media guru. No one knows why people are going to vote when they get into the secrecy of the ballot box. And we're very hopeful that people will vote the way they're telling us they're going to. You were going to have the last question.
No, we were just asked for your staggering below question.
Right. That's all.
Can I say I'm also very pleased to be here with Seán Crowe?
But he didn't say. Right, you'll be starved.
They don't hold things against you in time.
No, they don't.